Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Shadowhunters Season 3. Sometimes this is also called Shadowhunters The Mortal Instrument, but most people just call it Shadowhunters. This came out on an ABC Family, aka Freeform. This was a really cool show. Like, this show reminded me of the good old days of like Buffy and Charmed. The only problem is there isn't much action in this show. But when there is action, oh, it's awesome. That's my only real complaint about this show. Well, that and they talk like way too much. But I just wish there was more action. But this show was cool. It had a goth feel to it. It had a real like almost like modern day medieval feel to it. And it dealt with like shadow hunters, angels, demons, werewolves, and that of ceilings and vampires. This did come on Freeform. You can watch it on Hulu and pay money, or you can watch it for free on the Freeform app. Every season is free. There's no lock, there's no nothing like that. And it amazes me how there are so many free shows that are on Hulu that are on other like apps. The only shows that are on Hulu that you have to pay for are actually just like the ones that are made by Hulu themselves. But every other show Hulu has is on a free app. Like, check those out. Well, most all of them. Some of them are not. And yeah, like Hannibal are on so many different free apps. It's insane. But Shadowhunters, do want to talk about it. Like, I just want to talk about it. Nobody ever talks about this show no more. And it's a really good show. It's very dark. It's a lot of emotion. There's great representation and diversity all around the playing field. And you know what? This show is better than The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina should have been more like this show, but it's not. Both The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina and Shadowhunters has Lilith. And this show does Lilith a whole lot better. This show does the underworld. It looks a lot cooler than what was in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. The third season is by far best of the entire series of Shadowhunters. They had the budget to really go there with the CGI. Everything looks real in season 3. The demons, like the way they use their powers, everything looks great. So much better than season 1 and season 2. And also in season 3, they dress better in season 3. In season 1, people dressed a little weird. Like, you'll see the vast difference between the way people used to dress in season 1 and season 3. Everybody's acting is on point in season 3. Like, it's always been good, but sometimes it was a little wonky here and there with certain people. But on season 3, it's very much on point. This season is like by far like the best. It's better written, there's better emotion, there's more character development with certain characters. Some characters still get sidelined. The werewolves, no matter what season they in, they always get sidelined. Still, once again, you don't really see a real werewolf transformation. Now, their werewolves look like the werewolves in the Twilight series, like a giant wolf. I hate that because the werewolves really don't get their time to shine. So the CGI, you'll only see a werewolf in CGI form twice and per season, and that's it. Like, you only see a werewolf twice. They're always in their human form. And when they're in their human form, they are very weak and get their butts kicked by the vampires. Luke, once again, is sidelined. He barely has anything to do in the entire series. I really hate that. The vampires even get sidelined a bit in this season, which is very shocking. Like, the first season dealt a lot with werewolves and vampires, but they get sidelined. This huge epic rivalry that they have gets sidelined because, they have to abide by the rules of the Clave. The Clave is run by the Shadowhunters. The Shadowhunters are humans that have angel-like abilities. They have these, I forget what they're even called. They're like these wand types, pen stick type things. and they can put runes on their bodies and do all kind of magical spell type stuff. They are the hierarchy of like society. It is them. And down below are the underlings, like werewolves and demons and vampires and sealings. Sealings are more like fairy type people. Have this magical society where like they work in the shadows, and they can be a little bit shady at times. Um, and then there are mundane. Mundane are humans with no magical abilities. Mundane cannot even see the shadow world. If a shadow hunter loses um, their they're like tattoo runes type things, they will forget who they are and forget all about like the shadow world and can no longer see it and stuff. Um, this is one of the first shows, I think this is probably the first show, probably, or one of the first that I watched on like a tablet back in the day. This came out in around 2016 or 2017. Like I said before, this season came out around either 2018 or 2019. It got split in half. There are a total of like 22 episodes or so. It's very long. The first season is the only one with a shortened season. After that, they went the 20 mark. I love a good 20 season, but when you're trying to binge it, when you're on like in a rush and everything, 20 something episodes is a bit much because it's an hour show. This show feels like a CW show. It's very dramatic. There are long-winded speeches. They just talk, and don't really show no like anything in the past. Like, you know, when they explain something in the past or they explain something, you don't see no imagery with it. They just talk. It's long-winded speeches. There's lots of diversity amongst the race. There's lots of diversity amongst the LGBT. Madness and Alec have a huge LGBT like relationship. They're constantly kissing and stuff. This feels like a CW show, and I'm surprised it's not on the CW. However, everything I hate about the CW, I actually enjoy for the most part on this show. Like when I say that, I'm talking about like the long-winded speeches. If you ever seen one of my CW videos, you know the one thing I hate about the CW are long-winded foo-foo speeches and everything. Here, I don't mind it for some bizarre reason. I don't know why. Maybe because there's more edge to it. Maybe because it's better acted. I don't know, but this show really feels like a CW show, but better. And once again, this show is a million times better than the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina really disappointed me and stuff. And you know, if this was on a CW, this probably would be a terrible show because they would find a way to ruin it and stuff. But yeah, if you like CW shows, you will like this show. Now, this show piggybacks off of season 2. Valentine is dead. Jonathan has been sent back to Edom. Edom is like the underworld. It looks amazing, better than that of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. People are trying to go about their business. Madness is having some quarrel with that of Alec because of his involvement with that of the seedling people and stuff. Or I think his involvement with Valentine. It's been a good while since I've seen season 2. I've only seen season 1 and season 2 once in their entirety. That's why I can't review it relying on my memory, because my memory is a little shot. But I remember little bits and pieces here and there. The relationship, just like in the books, between Simon and Izzy, is strained to where now he's starting to date Maya. Like, is it Maya's or Mara? I think it's Mara, Mara, from the books and everything. Oh, this is based on a series of books called The Mortal Instrument. They made a movie based on the first book. I think City of Bones, I think it was. I can't remember. But the movie didn't do so well. I tried to watch the movie. Like, I watched the first 2 seasons of this show. Then I watched the movie. I could not finish the movie. The movie was just that bad. But it's funny how so many people from the movie and the show look similar and stuff. Jace killed Jonathan, Clary's brother, in the second season. And so they think they're finally at peace. Clary's now a full-fledged shadow hunter, angel type person. She was experimented on by her father Valentine. And so because of that, she has the full-on power of an angel, but never really shows them. She has angel wings, but never really shows them and stuff. And her and Jace are finally together now that it's revealed that Jace is not Valentine's son, because that would have been nasty incest. But now him and Clary can finally date and stuff, and they go on their first official date. But it's interrupted because they see Mara and they see Simon. Simon used to have a huge crush on that of Clary, and because they were best friends since they was little. And Clary in season one would do anything for Simon, but she started to fall for Jace. Jace is very much like a jock type person. He's very stern and everything. He does not like Simon whatsoever because Simon likes Clary. Alec now is so cool with Clary because Alec knows that him and Jace can never be a thing because Jace is straight. But Alec goes with that of madness. A warlock. A warlock is considered one of the lower classes of the underlings and stuff. I don't know why, but they're cool. They have lots of cool magic. I like the way they use their magic in this show. Isabel starts a relationship with Raphael, the head of the vampire clan. She started drinking some vampire venom from the second season and got addicted to it. But her and Raphael have now broken up and everything. Simon, he has sired that of Heidi from the second season. Heidi's a very unstable vampire. She died. Raphael somehow brought her back from the dead and now has been experimenting on her, trying to create a daywalker similar to that of Simon. Simon became Simon was a human who got involved in the shadow world because of Clary. And Izzy did not watch him as good as she should have, and he got bit by, I think, Raphael's sister. He became a vampire, and he's a good guy and stuff. But, he has to live the life of vampire until he bit Jace, and with a little angel blood is now a daywalker and stuff. His sister is the only one who knows. And it's his mom found out and found him feeding on his sister because he lost control and everything. And his mom is now trying to kill him and all this other crap. He is forced to wipe her memory using vampire hypnosis or whatever you call it and stuff like that. So a lot has been going on, right? So with all this, we have a new character named Lilith, and she pretends to be on the side of the good guys, but it turns out she is the adoptive mother of Jonathan. Jonathan is very evil. He was experimenting on Valentine with that of demon blood. And so after Jace killed him in the second season, she wants revenge on Jace. She goes to Madness. Madness doesn't know she's the bad girl and everything. She has turned Jace into her owl, a demon. He can only transform when he's asleep. He can't do it during the day because of his love for Clary. She goes to Madness for an anti-love potion and everything. And he drinks it. And Madness had no idea he was working for the villain of this season. And so when Jace drank the potion, the anti-love potion, he no longer loved Clary. And now he can turn into an owl demon full on. He is evil this season. He is killing people left and right to get youth essence from people so they can feed it into Jonathan. When it is revealed that he is the owl demon, Clary and them have to stop him, but they don't want to have to kill him. And so Lilith, her main goal is just to bring Jonathan back. She is very, very evil, more evil and scary than that of probably the one from the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Lilith is about to, after she has Luke fired from his job and Clary like arrested and stuff, she later gets her hands on Clary and she's about to resurrect Jonathan and stuff. And so she's able to bond that of Clary and Jonathan through a rune. And so Jace is trying to stop them, and Madness had to go to like his father, a very evil warlock who's like the king down there of Eden and everything. Madness imprisoned him there. As Mondas, I think his name, Madness' father is. And he said, I'll help you, but you have to give me all your magic. So now Madness is a mundane. And so like, as this is all going on, Simon, who has the mark of Cain on his forehead, I don't know if that's from the books or not, but it's basically like a force field energy blast that can like protect him and others and stuff. So when all this is going on, he let out the mark of Cain and it bust open Lilith and everything. And so, but she was able to finally resurrect that of Jonathan. During the energy blast, Lilith goes back to Eden because she's now dead. But Simon thought he killed Clary and stuff. So then the second half is a huge mystery. They go months thinking she's dead. So Simon, he was human and then he turned into a vampire by Raphael's sister. He still worked for like the shadowhunters, helping them out here and there by trying to live his life as a human vampire. When he bit Jace, he became a daywalker. Now, he actually turned one human, Heidi. Heidi was an unstable vampire and just went on a killing spree. And Raphael, they killed her, but then Raphael brought her back to life. After the whole relationship between him and Izzy fizzled out, he started dating Mara. Mara is a werewolf. He hangs out with Mara and her clan at the Jade Wolf, which is a Chinese restaurant where werewolves hang out, but nobody there is Asian. So it's kind of weird, this Asian restaurant ran by tons of like black, white, and other races and stuff, but other than Asian. And so like, that's just so weird. And so the werewolves don't want him around because he's a vampire and stuff. Well, the seedling princess, queen lady, who takes many shapes and forms. She was Haley Dunphy. What's that actress name? Sarah Hyland. She was her in the second season. Then she became a little girl. The little girl was also the little girl from the 100. From the late on seasons. She was for the second season in third. And she put the mark of Cain on that Simon to like, I guess like, make him more powerful, also protect people, stuff like that. The mark of Cain was given to Cain. His brother was Abel, the sons of Adam and Eve, and then Lilith came in and killed Abel. And so the mark was given to him by like Lilith and everything to protect her, but he doesn't want to do that and blah, blah, blah. So Simon, he goes about his life trying to help out, and then he dates Mara. And then finds out he has a roommate named Jordan Cal. Jordan Cal, he's like the best roommate, what's the name ever had. But then it turns out Jordan Cal was hired to keep an eye on Simon and protect him by the seedling queen. And then it turns out Jordan is the man who turned Mara into a werewolf by scratching her neck and everything. While trying to help his friends out and trying to help Clary and everything, after they found out she's alive, he tries to infiltrate like, this clave underground, like black ops type thing, where they're turning underlings into mundanes. They're taking the powers away from warlocks and werewolves and like all kind of people, vampires and stuff, and making them normal, but against their will. They plan on putting that in the water supply. That's not a bad idea. Everybody would be normal, and then they won't be killing folks and turning folks. But the clay think this is terrible and stuff like that. So he infiltrates them. He finds Raphael, find out what they're doing. He steals the serum. It has like heaven fire to it from the sword. And so like, they're able to help Clary with that at some point. Oh, there's so much to get through. Isabel, she is no longer addicted to vampire venom and everything. She has told Raphael, after find out what he did to Heidi and stuff like that, experimenting on her and torturing her to make her into a daywalker so he can become a daywalker. She tells him leave and never come back. So he leaves and never really comes back, and then he gets arrested. She has to arrest him and everything because the beans are spilt that she let him go free after all the bad stuff he has done because he's the head of the vampires and stuff. So anyway, she is starting to now have feelings for that of Simon once Simon gets the mark off him because he has to feed, and so he feeds on her. And so she's starting to have feelings for him again. In a way, she's helping out, doing what she always does. And then she finds out about the Black Ops Clave thing. She helps bring that down. And so after all that, she's trying to help Clary get the rune off her that bonds her to her brother. So they need the Heaven's Fire sword, which is the only thing that can defeat the Morgan Star sword or Morning Star sword, or whatever you call it, Lucifer sword, and unbond them and stuff. Well, she's able to get some essence from the formula, the serum that they was using to turn underlings into mundanes. When she turns it into a sword, she uses it to help Clary and everything. But the sword reacts badly to demons and it explodes. And then some shards go into her back. She thinks she's normal. And then so when she starts to kiss on Simon, because they're starting to rekindle their relationship, she sets on fire. Turns out the Heaven's Fire is within her and everything. So she can no longer touch Simon. And this is really sad and tragic. So it's man, she really wants to be with him, but can't. It's kind of like a Buffy Angel kind of thing. And so then when some bad stuff happens in Eden, she goes down there trying to save Madness and everything, thinking she can survive because she has Heaven Fire in her and demons cannot affect her. But the more she uses it, it will kill her. So they have to rid her of it. But she's using her powers like crazy to help her friends out and stuff. Anyway, she is later cured from it, and her and Simon start their relationship, just like in the books. Madness is a bisexual warlock and everything, and he gives up his magic to help that of Jace because he knew that because Jace is his friend and Alec is Jace's Paraday or something like that, and so he wants to help out. But living as a mundane is taking its toll on Madness. He cannot deal with it. He's been alive for so many years, and to give up his magic, it's like giving up his skin and everything. It gives up who he is. This causes a bit of a rift towards him and Alec because Madness is just spiraling out of it. He's so depressed and upset. It's almost like he's having a drug withdrawal and everything. And he starts drinking more. Well, him and Alec relationship is still going on, and it's getting to the point where Alec wants to propose to him. But Madness, he tried to get his powers back from the head of the new warlocks, who is Lorenzo. Lorenzo does not like Madness whatsoever, and so he tells him, "All right, fine, I'll give you some of my magic. You have to give me your apartment." So he gives up his apartment and all his stuff in there. And the magic works for a good while until the magic starts to messes with his immune system. The magic that Lorenzo's magic is killing that of Madness. So he has to get rid of it for a second time. This causes him to spiral more out of control and drink a lot more. And so in order to now get his magic back, Alec talked to that of his father. And he said he'll give it back, but you have to break my son's heart and never date him again. Alec does this, even though he was going to propose. When Madness tried to live with him in the clay does not like for shadowhunters to live there. And so Madness feels he just doesn't belong nowhere, and now his lover has broken up with him. This causes him to get to the point where he wants all his memories erased of that of Alec, and it's a really hard time he is going through. He just can't bear to live and everything. But then next thing you know, he gets his magic back because what's his name broke his heart. And So he's about to like rid himself of his memories, but somebody stops him. I forget who it is, and they tell him why Alec broke his heart. So now he's pissed, and he banishes his father once again and everything. And so towards the end, him and Alec finally marry each other. And this is the first time a warlock and a shadow hunter has ever like, married, because it's taboo for them to even date. Luke gets sidelined so much in this series, it's not even funny. Him and the werewolves, but he gets sidelined a lot more. Sometimes you even forget he's in the series. And so this time, like, he's still being a cop and everything. And he was once in love with Clary's mother. He is like the other like stepfather or something like that to Clary. And so him and her barely even interact. Like, that's how sidelined he is in the series. Well, he gets a partner named Ollie, I think her name is. And he tells her of the shadow world because he's starting to act a little funny. And she wants to know why he's always disappearing, all this other stuff. When he reveals the shadow world to her, she is later attacked by Lilith and all this other stuff. Her and her lover. Her lover is possessed by Lilith and does a lot of bad stuff. So at some point they able to break free of Lilith hold, and then they get new identities and move on with their lives. But it's at the point where he now has to stop being a cop because so much bad stuff is happening, this and that. And his superiors are wondering like what the world's going on. He is no longer the alpha of like, the pack of werewolves that he resides over. And then when the whole war between the werewolves and the vampires happened, finally, he takes the fall for all the murders in the Jade Wolf, because the cops, there's no way to cover all that up, and he doesn't want the underworld to be found out. So he gets arrested and thrown in prison. And then he is busted out by some like off Shadow Book Clave people who somehow negotiate to get his freedom. They make him steal the serum that has the heavenly fire in there, and then they give it to him and everything. Cause it's weird, cause it's messed up, because at first Simon wanted it, but then Mara wanted it, and then they wanted to give it to Jordan to save his life, but they decided no, nobody should like have this blah blah. So he ends up like just saying he's gonna get rid of it, but never does. But then they make him inject it. When he does, he's not a mundane human. He's back to being a shadow hunter. See, he used to be a shadow hunter back in the day, but then he got bit by a wolf and then turned into a werewolf, and he lost his shadow powers and stuff. When he turned back into a shadow hunter, he's now freshly shaven, and he's surprised that he's shaven. His rooms are all back, and he takes up back his position of working with like like the Clave and like the underground like off Black Ops like team and stuff like that to help like the underworld and the humans and stuff. But he always gets sidelined from the show, and I hate that. Mara is dating Simon and everything. It's a little difficult. She is a werewolf. He is a vampire. That's a big no-no. She tries to get Luke to come back and be the alpha, but he doesn't want to and tells her to be the alpha. She realizes she can't be alpha and also date Simon at the same time because it's just too much. And so she breaks up with Simon. And it was like, God, what was the point of this relationship if she was just going to break up just like that? Well, when she found out who Simon's roommate is, Jordan Kyle, she is furious because he is the one who turned her and just left her there and stuff. To be a werewolf, and, leaving her family and all this other crap. But then the weird turn of events, her and Jordan start to be friends again, especially when they're attacked by the werewolves. And Jordan is stabbed with a silver knife, and it's poisoning his system. And so she falls back in love with him. They get her help and everything. She gets revenge on the vampire who did all this in a very cool way. And so she thinks Jordan is healed from going to the doctors and stuff. But it turns out, no, he is still poisoned. She contemplates giving him the serum, but I think Luke advises against that because his superiors wanted him to take it for himself. And so she decided, you know what, she's just gonna go with Jordan and just travel and everything like that. But Jordan dies on the beach sand. It's very sad and tragic. After this, in the funeral, she takes up the position of alpha and she leads the pack of what's left of it. There aren't that many werewolves left because they were slaughtered by the vampires. Helen, she is the vampire who was turned by Simon. She was killed in the second season because she went on a murderous spree. And the clay does not like, they keep things in order. And so Raphael resurrected her, had to make her a day lighter. She was gonna burn Raphael to death, but then, you know, Izzy and them rescued him and made him leave. And then so now she's just being hunted down by the werewolves. Well, she ended up killing a werewolf, so they wanted revenge. She planted a huge war between the werewolves and like the vampires. She went to the vampires, are like, oh, the werewolves are just attacking us for no reason. They broke like the accords and everything. And so this causes a huge bloodbath between the two species. They fight. The vampires whoop their behinds because the vampires are super strong than the werewolves when the werewolves are in their human forms. And so, like, after finding this all out, she goes to somebody, and you know, cause like, and the like, you know, clear her innocence and everything because the clay was gonna arrest her. She's like, yo, I'm innocent, but then they find out she's lying. And so Mara, who found out that Heidi's all responsible for this, she knows she ain't strong enough to fight her without her werewolf form. And since the show can't afford to do the CGI on the werewolves, they don't have her fight her. Instead, Mara injected herself with silver. Heidi did not know that and bit her. Heidi burns to death into a ball of ash. It's awesome. Alec is the new head of the Clave, his mother, because she worked with Valentine and all this other crap, got her runes taken away. And I think she still knows of the shadow world and everything. She becomes like a librarian or some crap like that. Who cares? But now she's all cool with Alec being gay and everything like that. Because at first she wasn't. She was really rude and mean in season 1. Alec, like I said, is in a relationship with Madness and everything. He's trying to do his best to like keep order between everything. He even breaks the rules and let Madness live with him in the clave, which is a big no-no, and the other Shadowhunters do not like that. He barely interacts with Simon. He doesn't really know who Simon is. He kind of does, kind of doesn't. It's funny, at the 3 seasons or 2 rarely interact. When Lilith wants to kill Madness, because see, something happens, and I'm getting to very shortly. Something happens, and Madness has to live now in Edom and everything, and keep this seal closed so demons won't come out. So Lilith, knowing that he's there, asks for his help to go back and like do some damage on her son. Well, he says no, and she now wants to kill him. So she gathers up so many demons down there to kill him. Alec finds out, and he wants Simon to turn him into a vampire so he can go down there and protect him, because angels, actually nobody can live in Eden unless they are a demon and stuff. And so, or dead. And so like, his friends say no. They come up with a way for them to all go down there safely. And then when they free Madness, him and Madness get married. They go through a rocky relationship in this season because like they're keeping stuff from each other. Madness can't deal with being a mundane. You know, Alec had to go to his father or Madness' father and whatchamacallem, get his magic back, and then so he had to break Madness' heart, and of course he didn't want to do that, and he went through it this season. You know, the dude who plays him looks like an older Terry McGinnis. If only they'll make a Batman Beyond movie. Clary, she thought she was human. Turns out she's Angel, and a shadow hunter. She's a full-fledged shadow hunter this season. And, you know, like I said, after getting like arrested and all this other stuff and saving Jace, She sadly was able to resurrect her brother because Lilith bonded them two together. Her brother takes her to like Siberia and everything. She is his captive. Her brother has a weird relationship with her. Her brother Jonathan acts like he's in love with Claire. Tells her, "Oh, I'm good now. I'm not evil no more." From season 2, and you don't have to worry. But she does not want to live there. She runs out in the snow, and about to freeze to death. He saves her and takes her to Paris and everything. It is there that she sees a rogue shadow hunter and steals his little wand thing. Um, and she gets a message, a fire message out to her people. They now know she's alive, so they have to rescue her. Her brother is looking for the Morning Stern sword, a Morning Star sword from Lucifer and everything. I'll get the names mixed up. I know Morning Star, and then there's Morgan Stern. They just had to name them that in the show and in the books. So anyway, her brother desperately wants this sword. This sword has the ability to cut open a rift into Eden and let out all the demons and everything. This is what happened when Madness had to go there and like seal it and stuff. So, it's a huge thing between her and her brother this season. He's constantly trying to like, kidnap her and everything. She doesn't want to go, but she is starting to turn. See, they're bonded with that rune, and whenever one gets hurt, the other gets hurt, so they can't kill Jonathan. And so like, um, he is starting to influence her through like the mind and everything. And so like it's to the point where she betrays her friends and she works with her brother, but she still loves Jace, but she is being somewhat brainwashed unbeknownst to her and everything. And so Jordan has this huge plan that he wants to enact. And so Jonathan, when they finally find the heavenly sword thing, they free them two from each other. So now with his wings and everything, his dark angel wings, he flies off. He still wants that sword and to cause havoc. The Seedling Queen has that sword. She wants Jonathan for her own nefarious deeds and everything. The Seedling Queen is all about herself and she doesn't care if she does good or bad. And so he ends up killing a lot of her people and he ends up killing her. He takes the sword, and now that he has been reborn in a cocoon with now a blonde hair and everything, he now wants his revenge on just everybody. So doing like a ceremony and everything, he ends up killing tons of shadow hunters from different claves and stuff. And he left the last one left, that's Alex's father and his half brother and stuff, to send a message. He rips open the barrier between like the human world and Eden, and tons of like winged demons coming, like dragon looking things coming in, and the shadow hunters are barely able to fight them off and everything. So Madness realizes, just like his father said, you can seal it from within because you're more powerful in Eden. So that's where Madness goes and everything. And he seals it so they're all safe. And Jonathan is so upset that Claire will not love him, love him, because he even makes out with her at one point when he disguises himself as Jace, shapeshifts and everything. It's disgusting. And I don't know why he's so in love with her and stuff. And so he destroys the sword and goes on this crazy path of killing people and stuff. So the group has to go into the underworld. And so Clary decides, hey, if we all infuse ourselves with all our powers, we will have the powers of a demon. And so they're able to go there. They find Izzy. They're able to save Izzy and everything. They're able to save Madness. And then Izzy uses her heavenly fire to kill Lilith once and for all. But the power was so immense, it destroyed Eden. And since there's no Eden, there's no demons, so they just fled and everything. Now they're back into the real world. Clary is now having to pay the price. You're not supposed to make up your own runes and everything. That's something Clary does a lot. And the angels told her, look, yo, man, we gave you this power, but we didn't give you this power to abuse. And we know you wanted to help your friends, which is noble, but you do it one more time, we're going to take your powers away and we're going to wipe your memories and everything. And so now with Jordan, like, all doing his bad, evil stuff, she has to go there and defeat him. She talks to him. She tells him how, like, when she was younger, she draws a lot. And she tells him, like, when she was younger, she had a dream of a little prince in a castle. And there was an evil queen who kept him there. That turned out to be real. She was seeing the memories of her brother and everything. Lilith kept him captive there and abused him and turned him evil and everything like that. And she said, so then she uses her magic wand thing to create another rune. Her angel wings appear and they wrap around Jonathan. Jonathan can't get out the clutches of her angel wings. And then he dies then and there somehow in a really sad but beautiful kind of way. Now in the books, I think she just ends up killing him with a sword or something like that. And so she now knows she has to pay the ultimate price. She does not tell nobody, but she leaves a letter for Jace. She tells him when she says all her goodbyes to everybody. And it's so sad and tragic because she loves these people. For 3 years, she's been a shadow hunter. She knew nothing of this world because her mom hid this from her because she didn't want Clary's father, Valentine, to find Clary. He is a very evil man. He's played by the king in Reign, and he was the dude from Star Trek Discovery Season 2, the bad guy. He's always playing the bad guy, but he never seems evil to me. And so her wounds start like slowly disappearing, and then she loses all memory. When she looks back at the clave, she doesn't see it. And so like a year or so has passed, and the shadow hunters are supposed to keep their distance from her. She is not supposed to regain her memory. They're not supposed to have any interaction with her. This is different from the book. In the book, it was Simon. He gave up his immortality and his vampirism to save everybody. And then his memories got wiped. And then towards the end, he saw Clary and all like, hey, don't I know you? So Jace is really upset now. Jace yearns for her, but then it's found out Jace has been spying on her, keeping an eye on her, and he's not supposed to. Simon tells him, look, man, you can't do that. If somehow she remembers, there's no telling what the angels will do to her and stuff. Simon has now become a shadow hunter, learning how to fight and everything. Him and Izzy is still stronger than ever. Madness and Alec are still together, but Jace is beyond heartbroken. He just wants Clary. He's been in love with her since the moment he saw her 3 years ago, and he does not want to live his life without her and stuff. And so he breaks the rules, and he sees her at an art show, and he talks to her, but she doesn't remember him. But then she starts to have a kind of odd memory. She's like, wait, isn't your name Jace? And then so when he leaves, it's the same way as the first episode started. She chases him down. They're like, hey, like, don't walk away, don't leave and everything. Like, what's going on? Why do I remember you? Blah, blah. So she is slowly starting to get her memories back. And it ends similar to how Simon was in the book. And it's so sad and it is tragic. This is a very, 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 very good show. Like I said before, this 3rd season is phenomenal and everything. It is the best the show has ever been. Written, acting, fight choreography, outfits. The swords are so much better than season 1. They used the swords from the movies because they didn't have the money or the budget to make it back then. And then in season 2, they had a little bit more money and made their own. You can get the swords, not on eBay, but the Estrie, I think it's called. They make it in a 3D printer. They have other weapons they use, but like they mostly just use their swords or their little wand thingies. Like what's her name? Izzy. She uses Izzy's weapon is cool. It's a snake bracelet that turns into a whip or a staff. She's the only one who has that weapon. Jace mostly uses his sword, and Alec mostly uses bow and arrow. And the metal they use come from like the angels. It's a special type of metal with magical properties in it and stuff. Clary sometimes mostly just uses daggers, I think. and stuff. But Clary was like, probably like the best of the best. She was experimented on. She was infused with the powers of an angel. She created her own magical like stuff that went against like, the angels and everything. And it's like, and it's sad she had to give up like her memories and her powers. It's very much like Buffy, Charmed, all that good stuff from back in the day, but with a more gothic type feel. But it doesn't have that much action, but it's very drama packed on this show. It's very emotional. There's love in the air. Everybody's always in love with each other and stuff. Sadly, like I said before, the werewolves barely get any time to shine. They barely get to be in their werewolf form. This whole war between the vampires and the werewolves that's so apparent in season one can't happen because of the accords that they signed, because the clay will not let them fight and everything. Is a very interesting, well thought out show, better than that of the movie. It is not out on DVD in America, but it is out North America, I should say. So Canada, America, stuff like that. But it is out on DVD for the rest of the world, which is pissing me off. It's an American show and it's not even out on DVD, but at least you can watch it free on Freeform. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.